Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk 1943. This is a business spotlight edition, and I'm happy to have Nancy Pickard on our show today. And we're going to talk about a lot of things between your boundaries, self sabotage, and fears, and we're going to get into all of that. So let's talk. We are back. We are back. So, welcome back to Let's Talk 1943. And like I said, we have Nancy with us today. And I'm so excited, Nancy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, we're going to talk about what you do and things that are surrounded by what you do. So, we're going to go ahead and just dig right in. So, let's start with what I was so excited about was the self sabotage. Because I swear to you, I know I've done that a million times myself. So, let's talk about that. So, why is that so important to conquer?
Well, we all self sabotage ourselves. And so if you get an understanding of why you self sabotage and what your go to patterns are and habitual ways of being that actually are working against you, you can change the direction of your life and how you're sabotaging yourself. So I have a lot of clients that come to me and they know they're a self sabotager, but they don't know why, and they don't know how, and they don't know how to change it. And so I help them by recognizing that they, just like all of us, have beliefs in our subconscious that are ruling our operating system. And these beliefs are called shadow beliefs, and they were developed in the first 10 years of our life to keep us safe. And they did. So we need to respect those beliefs. But as an adult, they keep us playing small. So when you unravel them and you uncover them and you give yourself new empowering beliefs, you can
Hmm.
let go of those old outdated ones, and then you can work towards stopping the sabotage that's just keeping you from getting anything that you want. There's a discrepancy between what you have and what you say you want to have. And
Right.
all of that, the discrepancy is caused by
Hmm.
those beliefs that we're not aware of.
And that's something, most things always happen in your childhood. It's like it develops before you get a chance to even know what's happening. Things already happen to you before you even are aware of what happened. It-
Exactly.
It's just amazing. So a lot of this comes from like just old beliefs from other people or your parents' upbringing or things you don't have no control over.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. And I mean, even healthy childhoods, we still develop beliefs about ourselves. We're not good enough. Our voice doesn't matter. We need to please everyone to be safe. We need to be perfect to be loved. We need to control everything to be safe. These are beliefs that our little children,
Hmm.
inside of us, our wounded children learn about themselves. And a lot of times it's just from how many people are in your family and what's going on and what are your parents like and what are they teaching you or what are you seeing in them that you make a decision, I don't want to be that.
Hmm.
These are all things that happen to us under the surface, but they rule our operating system for the rest of our life unless we learn to recognize them, uncover them, and give ourselves new empowering beliefs.
Wow. And so I just want to kind of get a little taste of what we're going to be talking about. So Nancy, if you don't mind, just letting the audience know who you are and your business name and what you do.
Okay, so my business is Nancy Pickard, Life Coach LLC, and I'm a master integrative life coach. I have a lot of different coaching modalities: boundaries, worthy, reinvention, breakthrough shadow, healing your heart. I'm now working with in relationship and marriage therapy. So I just run the grief educator. I have all kinds of certifications which just give me more tools in my toolbox to work for with any individual that comes to me. And I'm the author of the international best-selling book, Bigger, Better, Braver: Conquer Your Fears, Embrace Your Courage, and Transform Your Life. And so when I work with people, I help them uncover the shadows that they're not aware of
Mm-hmm.
and the underlying commitments that go with those. And then we work towards their vision and their goals for what they really want for themselves.
Wow. And so you're a life coach, but you're a life coach in mostly everything. And I give that to you. It's a lot because I'm a life coach, and just being a basic life coach is a long, course. But that's adding all those little extra niches in there. That takes a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
I have a growth mindset. I'm always looking for the next thing in terms of how can I better support the people that are coming to me. So whenever I get a client who has a challenge that I'm not really that versed in, I'll think, oh, I need more information about that, and I go and get it.
And that's how you're supposed to be. That's why it's never too old or never too late to learn
No,
anything. Never,
never.
never. So one of the things that you are specialized in is self sabotage, but the other thing is fear versus faith, or faith versus fear. So you
Mhm.
want to talk about that?
Sure. So I don't think in my first half of my life I actually owned this belief, but I have developed the belief that the universe has our back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything happens for a reason. So
That's
that
right.
life is happening for us.
Not
It's
too.
not just happening to us.
That's right.
And when you have that belief, you can take failures with so much more ease than you can when you don't have that belief. And so when something doesn't go the way I think it should or I thought it would, I can immediately get to, oh, okay, so what I need to learn here? What was this trying to show me? So
Mm-hmm.
this becomes a stepping stone instead of me just saying, all right, I'm taking my toys and going home. I'm done, I failed, I'm out of here. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when you have the belief that everything happens for a reason, and whether you fail or you don't fail, you're going to be okay because that's what the universe wants you to experience, then you can try things that you normally wouldn't try. So, so many people come to me in a fearful state and they believe that other people who are living a bigger life are not fearful. And that's not true. We all have fears.
Yes,
We
we do.
all have the imposter syndrome, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all have those things. Those of us who have learned to use our fear as a driving force for change
Mm-hmm.
can recognize that we need to do that. That the very thing we're afraid to do is the very thing that's going to make us grow.
Better. That's right.
Our
That's
life is on
exactly.
the other side of those fears. And it's pretty interesting because people who have fear of success or fear of failure,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't move forward, or they have fear of feeling stupid or fear of shame. I always wonder, aren't you feeling that just by sitting
Now,
out? Yeah. You know, isn't that worse? The doing nothing to me would be crippling.
that is, you know what, Nancy, what you just said speaks volumes. A lot of people, I always say this: failure to me means that you are doing nothing. That's failure.
Yeah,
Failure is doing nothing.
I agree.
When you do something and it doesn't work out, and it actually does work out because that's the lesson you're supposed to learn, it just makes you pivot and kind of just change and just go another course. But that tool, or that piece right there, you needed that to get to that next part. You couldn't skip.
Exactly.
You can't skip over it.
No, it's like you have to look at it. Okay, you're human. You get to feel bad that it didn't work out the way you wanted, and then you move into, all right, what was that supposed to teach me? What
Hmm.
do I still need to do or learn before I try again? How
Hmm.
can I do it differently? Those are all questions that you don't even get to ask yourself if you're sitting on the couch, right?
That's true. That is absolutely right. So, what do you do with people who are on autopilot? They just kind of like existing, floating through life, and what do you do with that?
Well, those are the people that first come to me. So they're not happy. Life isn't working out the way they want it to, and they don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you have to do is help them get out of autopilot, help them see, I'm listen, we're all on autopilot. You couldn't drive a car or ski down a mountain or ride a bike if your automatic system was not on autopilot. I'm
That's true.
I'm talking about emotional autopilot, not really recognizing that you're not really happy or your relationship is not working, and you don't stop and ask yourself, do I even want to be with this person, or I'm not in a relationship, what am I doing that would help me get into a relationship? And the next thing you know, time is just passing, months, weeks, years go by, and nothing has changed. I've had clients come to me and say, it's been a year since X, Y, and Z. And then they'll be quiet for a minute and they'll say, oh, wow, it's been 3 years.
Mm.
And it's just like they're not even aware of it. So the first step is to see where you're in autopilot. And
Mm-hmm.
then, are you emotionally eating? Are you binge watching? Are you binge shopping? What's your drug of choice? What are you doing to numb out? And
Mm.
then why are you numbing out? And how can you make small changes that will keep you out of being numb and out of, like, I tell my clients, when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, just say to yourself, what's the most self-honoring thing I can do for myself today? Right then and there, you're out of autopilot. Maybe it's making a doctor's appointment. Maybe it's going for a walk or a bike ride or getting out in nature. Whatever it is, take that moment and think of what it is that you could do for yourself today that is going to really honor and be amazing self-care for you.
That's great. And that's true. A lot of us do not do that, and that's what we need to be doing. So another thing that you discussed is setting boundaries, healthy boundaries. So can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yes. So I'm a boundary coach. And when people come to me, which is a lot, like a lot of people are coming to me saying, I need boundary work. And boundary work is about saying no when you want to say no, and not people pleasing, overdoing, overgiving, being a conflict avoider, not stating your truth, not being honest to yourself, not having any self-care.
Mm-hmm.
You're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, you feel like you're the victim in your story. All of those are signs that you have leaky boundaries. And so when people come to me, I help them. And again, behind your leaky boundaries are your disempowered beliefs. So if you have a belief that your voice doesn't matter, or your needs don't matter, or nobody can take care of me, I have to do everything myself, you will not be in a position to set a healthy boundary because you don't even believe that your needs are important.
That's true.
And
That's true.
And then what happens is when you don't make your own needs a priority and you have this mindset like, well, if he loved me, he'd know what I wanted. That's baloney, ladies. That's not true. And part of the problem is you don't ever state what you want. If you don't know what you want, how can you expect somebody else to know what you want?
There you go.
And that's the main thing. You got to
Mm-hmm.
get real with what you really want, and then you have to ask for it. And the thing about boundary work is that we do it in a way where we're making it about us. It's not a demand, it's a request, and you make it about you. I feel really disrespected when you do Y. Would you be willing to do Z? That's a
Mm-hmm.
that's an ask. I feel really disrespected when you talk over me in a meeting. Would you be willing to wait till I'm done talking?
Mm-hmm.
I feel, fearful when you have more than 2 drinks in a night, or I feel angry, or I feel frustrated. Would you be willing to stop at 2 drinks? Anything you need, you make it about yourself and not about the action of the other person. I feel. Somebody else might not feel that way, but you're in a relationship with me and I feel this way.
Mhm.
I feel angry when you say you're going to be home at 7 o'clock and you show up at 8 o'clock and dinner's been sitting there for an hour. Would you be willing to call me if you're going to be late?
Yeah, because I put the ball in their court, and you're asking, you're not telling them what to do.
Right. And
You
you're
say,
making it about how you feel.
right. You
Somebody
say
else might
how
not feel that way. Right.
you feel. Yeah. So that kind of takes down the defensive right there, because now they're
Yes.
hearing you because you're asking a
Made it about
question.
you. Yes,
Mhm.
I'm a crazy woman and this is what I need. Would you be willing to do it for me? Right?
Yeah, I like that though, because you want that's the best part. You want the defenses to come down so they can hear you and you can receive.
Yeah.
They can't do that when you be like, let me tell you something, what you're not gonna do and this and that, they're not even hearing you no more. They're just hearing the
Blah, 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 blah.
exactly Charlie Brown teacher.
They're withdrawn. They're out of there. And the other thing is that
Hmm.
people who think they're conflict avoiders,
Hmm.
they cause conflict. Because what happens is that they keep it under until they explode.
Hmm.
And when they explode, it's usually inappropriately. It's like a beach ball that you keep trying to push into the water and it goes and it goes. And the next thing it slips out from beneath your hands and flies out of the water. That's what happens. People think they don't say, they don't say, they don't say. And then all of a sudden, their lid comes off and they explode. And the person sitting there saying, all I asked you was this, right? It makes no sense. And your top has blown off, so you finally explode.
and and then that's what it is, because when you don't address the things you need to address or ask that question, would you be able to, that would kind of chip down on that stuff so you can finally get all that out, and now you're in a place of peace, and you had a place of like, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm even. Everybody knows how I feel. Now everybody's not going to say they agree, or if I ask that question, some of them probably like, no, I can't do that. Then that's your right there. You make a decision. Well, I'm not
Yeah.
able to deal with that. If you
Yeah.
can't do that, I can't deal with that. So I guess that just tells us that we're not going to be where we at right now.
Yeah. The truth is, nobody can cross your boundaries except for you. So if I set a boundary with you, Regina, and you say, okay, fine, I'll do that. And then tomorrow you don't do it,
Mhm.
I need to have a plan B. I need to say, hey, you said you were going to do it, but I guess you can't. So, in order to honor and respect myself, the next time it happens, this is what I'm going to do. The next
Mhm.
time you have more than 2 drinks, I'm going to sleep in the bedroom, or the next, alone, or I'm going to sleep in the or I'm going to
Right.
leave. You know, the next time you drink too much and you embarrass me at dinner, I'm going to walk out of the restaurant. I'm not going to say a word. I don't care if we're with 6 other people. I'm just going to get up and go, and you'll know.
Hmm.
So you can set a boundary. You can't make somebody do it, but if
Hmm.
they don't do it, then you have to make a different plan, or you crossed your own boundary.
That's true.
And
That's
that's
true.
what people forget. They'll come back and they'll be like, I told him that this is what I needed, and then he didn't do it. And I'm like, and what did you do? Well, I didn't do anything. Well, then that's your fault.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The
Right.
ball back in your court is your fault.
Yeah.
So before we close out today, let's talk about your book,
Mm,
just selling book.
let's do that.
Yeah.
So, my book is actually the first step in being coached. So, not everybody can afford a coach, not everybody wants a coach, but
Hmm.
this is a self help, step by step, living bigger, better, braver, figuring out what it is that you want for yourself,
Hmm.
and then how to uncover through exercises that are in every chapter your disempowering beliefs, your underlying commitments, where your fear and your faith is, how to have a growth mindset, how to set yourself up for success. All of these things are step by step. So if somebody would like some support and does not want to start out by hiring a coach or me or you or anybody, start
Hmm.
with my book. And it's really easy to do on your own. I also have a course online that's evergreen, that's also very inexpensive, where you can do it
Okay.
yourself. or you can come into group coaching with me or one-on-one.
Oh, there you go. So, as you see on the bottom of the screen, I have been having Nancy's information, her email, as well as her web address that has all that information. You'll be able to look up and get all this great information and get you going in your life, restart, and then, like she said, is bigger, better, braver. That's
Yep.
it. That's it. So you can't go wrong with that. And that is a great. I'm glad you said that too, Nancy, because a lot of people need, especially in these times, in these days, a lot of people need different options, and we need the help. And for you to have a book out there that's actually step by step, and you can get that same kind of counseling. And you know what? By the time you get to the end of that book, you may want to call and say, "Hey, I need something more." Now I understand. So now
Right.
to absorb now. I'm able to see, I'm able to receive. Because now
Yeah.
I did get some of that work done before I called you. So it's not like I'm like a deer in the headlights when you start talking to me.
Right. It's not as scary.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. So, but yeah, I do truly appreciate you coming up here today. And before we close out, is there anything you could tell the audience, anything you want to say to my audience today?
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in just getting out there and taking very small steps, one at a time, to prove to yourself that you can do big things. And just remember that the last man in a race still beats the man on the couch.
That's good. I like that. You can never lose past the man on the couch.
Right. Right.
Because why? He does nothing.
That's right.
He does nothing. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Talk 1943. Like I said, I am Regina Smith, your host. And until next time, God bless. Thank you for joining us.